Hello there, hi, it's Julie Rothwell here from artyheaven.com. I have decided to create a free 5-day online workshop for people, to show people how to paint with beeswax. If you've seen any of my videos before, you'll have seen me painting with an iron and hot wax. So what I'm going to do for this is I'm actually going to jump straight into the online workshop. I'll show you in a minute what we're going to do. But we're going to create some Christmas cards together. So when I first started painting with wax a good number of years ago, this is where I started, and I will never underestimate what a change in lifestyle this had for me. So I loved it. I absolutely fell in love with it, and I've since gone on. I started out painting with cards, and I've since gone on and created all sorts of different things with it. But it's the most beautiful medium. So I'm going to jump straight in. I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to show you, and this is going to be an actual workshop. If you've seen any of my lives before, I kind of tend to skim over it and give you a really quick example. But I'm actually going to show you how to, so these are some of the things we'll be making this week. And we'll just see what comes up. So if people have got questions, put them in the comments, and hopefully we can help you get a little bit more creative. So I'm not going to throw everything at you all at once. So throughout the 5 days, I'm going to be doing this every day on my Facebook page here at 2:00. And so if you've got questions and things, put them in and we can come back and address those the next day. But this is what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to create one of these pictures. So I can see someone's on live. I can't see who or anything. So feel free to pop in the comments if you've got any questions as you go through. Normally when I do these lives, I do them in a portrait style, but I'm actually doing them in landscape today. I've got a setup here that I think you'll be able to see the workshop better in this format. So excuse me if I'm kind of sometimes looking over here and sometimes here. I'm working it out. I will re-watch this and we'll iron out any chinks throughout the week, the 5 days rather, and we'll just see how it goes. So it's very informal. Sit back and watch and enjoy. So I'm going to pop this up into my holder here, which hopefully you'll be able to get a much better view of what I'm doing. And then whilst this is in here, I'm not going to be able to see your comments, but I will come back at the end and have a look. So if you have any comments or observations throughout or things that aren't making sense, please tap them in, and at the end of this I will come back and do it. And also normally I really race through these, but I'm going to go a bit more slowly now so you can actually follow along as well. So I'm hoping you can see that okay. It looks okay from my view, but I say if you've got any comments on sound, the view of it, anything like that, please type it in and let me know, because I can refine it then throughout the 5 days because I'm going to do one of these every day, and I just want them to be really helpful for you. So, as I say, what I'm going to do today is show you how to paint these pictures here. We're going to be painting with an encaustic iron and with these wax block colours. If you've never seen encaustic wax before, please go and check out on my YouTube channel or my website, Arty Heaven. There's loads of information on there. I'm kind of really doing this for people who already are familiar with encaustic wax as an actual workshop for you. So, if you haven't come across it before, then go and check out, have a look on there. But I'm going to kick off with one of these. So I'm going to jump straight into it. What we want to do is we've got our encaustic paper, which is an Arts Encaustic wax paper specifically for use with the Arts Encaustic range. And then I've got this, I've got all sorts of stamps. There's every single style there is going here. So you can, what I'm going to focus on this week is, I'm going to do some Christmas related things because we're in the run up to Christmas. But obviously this applies to anything throughout the year, So often, particularly arty crafty type people have got all sorts of lovely different stamps around. So, see what you've got and take some of the principles of what we're going to do today and see what we can find. Of course, I'm not going to be able to find the two. Oh, there we go. I'm going to take the palm tree and my camels, which are probably going to be right down at the very bottom. There we go. going to do these so you can literally kind of follow along step by step with me. And it might be that, you know, this isn't your style, but, you know, you can make, I did these, I loved these. If you get your little letters and, you know, just take the principles and see if that makes sense. So this is an ink stamp. It's just basically a permanent ink stamp. A quick peek at the comments to just see if anything is coming up. I can't see anything there, so I'm assuming you can see this okay, and all looks good. So I've got my piece of encaustic paper here. I've got a magazine that I'm just going to lean on, and what you want to do is work out your placement of, it's got ink over there, never mind, don't do that when you come to your final one. Work out your placement of where you're going to put your stamps. And what you want to do is take your stamp, make sure you've got the rubber side with the stamp on it. You'll be surprised how many people go this way around and can't get their stamp to work. So you basically want to fill your ink stamp with ink. Now at the minute I can see that, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but there are some patches that aren't completely filled. So you've really got to sort of load your stamp up and then look at it in the light and make sure that you're completely covered, because otherwise you'll get big patches come out. So that looks pretty good. So I'm going to work out where I want to place it, my stamp, and then I just want to really carefully just once take it right down in a position and then firmly press that down, but without smudging it, or you'll have a big smudge there. So there we go. So you can see some little bits here that I haven't quite done. It's absolutely fine. What I'll do is I'll get a black pen or a Sharpie and I can go and colour those bits in. So don't stress if you've missed any parts. That's easily fixed. So I'm going to put my palm tree on now. I'm going to place that a bit further as if he's pointing up into the distance. And exactly the same, and then just firmly push it down. There we go. Okay, so the key point at this point here, you have to wait until these are completely dried. So normally I put them aside for half an hour or so. Some people might put them on a heat source to help them to dry a bit quicker. But if you go in too soon whilst this ink is still wet, all you're going to do is just wipe that across and you're going to smudge it. So put that to one side, and in true Blue Peter style, here's one I prepared earlier. So I'm going to put my stamps away for the time being. And then we're going to plug our iron in. So it doesn't take long to heat up at all. So if you haven't come across an iron or the waxes before, do go and check or scroll back through the videos or check my YouTube channel out. There's loads and loads of information on there. So you're not going to burn yourself or anything too much with this. It's fine, but it's hot enough to melt the wax. As I say, this is really sort of designed for people that are already slightly familiar with using wax, so I'm going to jump straight in there. So what you want to think about when you're putting your iron across the paper, you want to think about which way you're going to wipe your iron down. So are you going to go this way or this way? So just kind of put a bit of thought to that, because that's what's going to determine where you put your wax on the iron. So I think I'm going to kind of sweep across this way, which means that, and what I'm going to do here, if I go in with a really deep colour, I'm going to totally lose those stamps underneath. So what I want to do is add a little bit of clear wax and then just add a little bit of colour on either side, and that will blend in, and it's going to mean that I'm not going to lose my stamps that are in underneath. So just decide what colour to pull in where. Right, so I'm going to go, so I've got to think about my colour, so I'm going to go that way, which means I want my pinker colour, sky colour at the top, and my yellow colour here. So And don't stress over this. You can, you can keep going back and changing it and adjusting it. The great thing with Encaustic is if it doesn't work, you just go over it again. So, nothing like doing this live. There we go. So, just want to kind of get a bit of colour across to start with. Hopefully you can see that okay. I quite like that sky, but obviously I've missed a bit at the top, so I need to add something a little bit more there. I'm put a bit of white on. Just blend a couple of different colours, I think, into the top, so I don't stress over it too much. It's not quite worked out, don't panic, we can go back over again. So that's not too bad, I can work with that, I think. And I can just sort of blend this pink in a moment. So I've kind of got my first covering with this, and what I always do is I work from the top and then move down. So I make sure I'm happy with my skyline to start with, and then I worry about what's further down below. So I'm cool with that, I'm happy with my skyline. I'm going to clean my iron at this point because that's going to keep my colours down here really nice and crisp. Some nice old loo roll. And I'm going to wipe any of that excess colour off the top. I've got quite a bit that's melted down into the reservoir, so I'm just going to clean that out as well. You'll see it keeps coming. Grand. And then I use a magazine to lean on because it helps. If I put another colour on now, I'm just going to pick up this pink colour and put it back on here. So by using a magazine, I can just rip that off. I've kind of got a nice thin palette underneath to work with. And yeah, good to go. Right, got my cup of tea on the go as well here. Great thing about this is you don't have to rush. But that said, I'm not going to keep you and take too much of your time. So I want to add some of this kind of foreground in now. So I'm going to stick with sort of sandy-ish colours. Might have a bit of brown, or let's see how it goes. And again, so move your paper around. Don't make it awkward for yourself so that you're pulling it around. So for me, I like to move this way down towards me. So rather than, just think about which direction your paper is pointing and make it easy on yourself. So by doing that, I just want to load my iron on this top side because that is where my iron is going to come to. So I'm going to put some of that on there. I'll put a little bit of brown in too, just to add a bit of different, interest. So always hold your iron horizontally, because otherwise you can see here I've got it on an angle. It's just running, so it doesn't matter if you don't, but it makes it easier. So I'm going to turn that over, and what I'm doing here is lining this edge of the iron up just to sit underneath, roughly, that palm tree. Too soon because it needs to fully melt. So you can see we're sort of starting, we've got a bit of this going on. This all looks pretty good. It looks as if that's now kind of seated on something. It could all bit of a mirage in the background, but I'm cool with that. I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do now is add another one in here so that these two are kind of standing on something really nicely, but this one isn't quite. So I'm going to kind of come in with another sweep just to try and stand this camel and make him look as if he's grounded as opposed to plonked in the middle of the air. And normally, as you kind of come close to you in the distance, the colours up closer will be darker. So I'm going to go in with a slightly darker colour. I'm going to not disturb what I've got up here, and I'm just kind of going to see how we go. Okay, and I might just go slightly darker again. as if they're really kind of roaming through the desert. So that is where we've got to there. And you know, I'm sort of happy enough with that for a card for somebody. If I was going on and doing a finished art piece, you can go through a process of buffing. You can seal it with an encaustic sealer. So there are more things you can do here, but I'm not going to go into that today. But I will show you how I would then put that into a card, or one of the ways I might put it into a card. So I've finished with, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my camera off the stand. So if you've got any questions or anything at all, pop them in the comments, and then I'll come and let me know. Can you see it okay? Does it sound okay? I'll come to the comments and have a look in a minute. So let me unplug that for a minute. So come around here. One of the styles of cards that I use and work really nicely with this. So it's like a three-way trifold card. Sometimes you get a two-fold, and then you're left with the back, because the backs of these can get quite grubby. So I'm going to move that out of the way because that can pick up. You want to make sure you're working on a clean surface when you do this, because it's quite easy to pick up wax smears from here. So what I would do is tape that into place, which I haven't got my tape. Have I got the tape here? So this is just for a card. I don't worry too much, because they're not, you know, they're not going to be, you know, it's not like a piece of artwork that's going to be up on the wall for forever. So you can see we've kind of, yeah, that looks all right. That's pretty cool. So I've just got, this is just a normal piece of sort of masking sticking tape, which will just hold it into place. You know, if you're doing these to keep forever, I would use, I've got different quality tapes, and I might use a slightly different process, but for a card for somebody for Christmas, which has got a limited lifespan, this is quite sufficient. Although that said, actually, it's surprising how many people just say, oh, you know, I've made a card with you in the workshop, and people keep them for years, so don't underestimate how long people do keep them for. And then work out which way you need to fold your, I've done it many times before where I've ended up folding them, you know, the wrong way. So work out which side you want to hold down so that it will actually stand up properly. So that's the way that I want to go. So I need to tape this side down. I need to grab my double-sided sticky tape. I want to tidy my scissors away, hang on. So this is like a double-sided sticky tape. And all I'm doing is edging these three sides so that I can, oops, slightly over there. More haste, less speed. Hoping you can see this okay. So you just peel off the backing once it's in place. And some of these peel more easily than others. I have also learnt from experience. So push that down. You might want to take a little bit more time and care than that. I've just gone slightly over in my haste. And there you go. So you've got a really nice handmade greetings card that you could send somebody for Christmas. So I'll often write on the back, that's a prime example of how you can pick up these little bits of wax on the back of your card. So just be aware of that. And I'll often, you know, write handmade by Judy Rothel on the back. So there you go. That's how to make a greetings card with encaustic wax. If you haven't got the actual wax itself, same principle applies. You know, you could just literally draw a picture in here, go to your art shop, have a look at cards, and throughout the week I'll show you some other different ideas and examples as well. So let me take this out of here a moment. Ooh, let's see what I can do. See if we've got any comments. Bear with me. Turn this around. Hello. So, so I'm just seeing who is on. Hello, Lee. Hello, hello. Hopefully that has made sense. Fascinating. That's good to hear. Oh, got Elaine here as well. Hello, Elaine. So, yeah, there you go. So I just wanted to start to share some techniques with people, really. And yeah, let me know as well. I'm going to share this out into some of my Encaustic groups, but let me know if there are things that you have been wanting to know how to do with wax. How to, I don't know, whatever. Have you got questions that you don't know? I'm happy to help answer those throughout these 5 days. So I'm going to come back tomorrow and we'll do some more. I might get the stylus out tomorrow. And we'll have a look at that. And we'll just go have a look at some of these other styles of cards as well. There are so many things you can do with wax. So, yeah. I will see if any comments come in for any requests on what to cover. We can use the iron as a hot plate. There are so many things we can do with it. So we'll have a look at that. And yeah, 2 o'clock tomorrow, same time, same place on Facebook. And we'll work out what we do tomorrow. All right. Thanks very much for joining and for watching. And I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. All right. Take care. Bye. Work out how to finish it. Turn off.